Donald Trump appeared on this podcast with this right-wing buffoon, Patrick Bet-David. Have you heard of this guy? Absolute right-wing buffoon. And you cannot make this stuff up. You cannot. Donald Trump is blaming Volodymyr Zelenskyy and Joe Biden for the war in the Ukraine. Puts no blame at all on Vladimir Putin, but puts the blame on Zelenskyy and Joe Biden. Have a listen to this.
I think Zelenskyy is one of the greatest salesmen I've ever seen. Every time he comes in, we give him $100 billion. Who else got that kind of money in history? There's never been. And that doesn't mean I don't want to help him, because I feel very badly for those people. But he should never have let that war start. That war's a loser. Ukraine, remember, is not Ukraine anymore. Every city almost is knocked down to the ground. All those beautiful golden domes are laying on their side, smashed to smithereens. There's no city. You go into the city and every building is demolished. It looks like a demolition crew went through. They've been hit by missiles. This should have been settled before it started. It would have been so easy. If we had a president with half a brain, it would have been easy to settle. And I'm not, everyone would say, oh, this is terrible. He's blaming Biden. Well, I do largely blame Biden. If you watch his words were the exact opposite of what he should have been saying. He instigated that war.
No, sir, you instigated January 6th. He didn't instigate a war. If you notice in that statement, he doesn't mention Vladimir Putin's name once. I don't know if it's because he's afraid to, or for some weird reason he admires Vladimir Putin, or he owes a lot of money to the Kremlin. I have no idea. But he never blames Vladimir Putin for anything. He's the first to blame Joe Biden for the war in the Ukraine, which is, by the way, outrageous. And then he starts blaming Zelenskyy. Oh, well, I really feel bad for those people. But, I mean, this is just absolutely and positively absurd and ridiculous. But this is par for the course for Donald Trump. Very strange, very bizarre, very peculiar. But again, he goes on this podcast, and then he can't leave it alone, and he can't stick to policy, right? I have all these surrogates on that say, well, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about policy. Well, your own orangutan leader refuses to do so, and then he goes back into the race bit with Kamala Harris turning black. Have a listen to this.
Really like me. And I think black women do too, but they have a woman who is black, although you would say she's Indian, but she is black. But she really, a lot of people didn't know, which is true. But
I learned about it just a couple months ago. The fact
that she's black,
yeah.
Or that she's Indian.
The fact that she's black, I thought she was Indian until a couple months ago. Things change. I mean,
a lot of people. Well,
because if you follow baseball, Sammy Sosa kind of, you sometimes have to respect people. They change, right? So I thought maybe she was doing a Sammy Sosa the other way.
Yeah, Sammy's changed.
Right.
People change.
If you remember Sammy Sosa,
he could hit the ball.
He could hit the ball, 66 home runs.
Seriously, really like me. And
oh my God! What a bunch of complete imbeciles! What a bunch of complete imbeciles! What a bunch of fools! Patrick Bet-David is just as bad, by the way. Oh, I didn't know that she was black until a couple months ago. You're an idiot. That's why. You're an idiot. Her father's from Jamaica, you tool racist buffoons, you, both of you. She didn't turn black. And just because, oh, I didn't know she was black until a few months ago. Well, because you're a moron. That's why. You're a moron. What a bunch of two racist imbeciles sitting there. We got one orangutan who claims that Kamala turned black. We got another moron who hosts a podcast. I didn't know she was black until 2 months ago. It's just like the same idiots, the a-holes that said, boy, I didn't know Barack Obama was born in this country until 5 years later, when it was Donald Trump who started that whole racist birther issue. These two people can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. And I didn't know she was black. Oh, my God. I didn't know Donald Trump was white until a month ago because he always wears 8 layers of orange makeup. I thought he was an orangutan. That's how stupid these people are. It's so dumb.